This is Robert Murdelacci, the MindShare Learning Report, Canada's Learning and Technology e-magazine. We're here at ISTE 2014, and I have the good fortune of having a MindShare Learning moment with Helen Soule from P21, the newly minted president. Congratulations.
Thank you, Robert. It's wonderful to be here at ISTE, and it's wonderful to meet with you.
Well, there's been a tremendous tidal shift, if you will, in the past year that we've seen. You know, the notion of 21st century learning has been highly contested and challenged, which in itself is exciting because people are paying attention.
That's right, and we find that everywhere we go, that people are, they want to know, in the States, they want to know what it is, but they also want to know how to do it, where is it happening, and what results have you had. And we have a lot of great best practices that we have been doing, traveling around the country and looking at where people are using 21st century learning and how they are engaging with students and the results that they're having. And we've been able to tell some really great stories about that.
Fantastic. Now, with any new leadership that comes into play, the vision might perhaps shift a little bit. So perhaps you can share with us what's new and exciting.
Sure. Well, one of the things that's happening is, for us, we are really beginning to think more broadly and more deeply about 21st century learning. We've focused previously on K-12 and on the fusion of the 4 C's and, core content. And we now know that a student's experience in school, in early learning experiences, after school, in college, and all those experiences need to have the 4 C's embedded in them. And so we are going to be focusing a little more broadly on students in all of their learning capacities and trying to help teachers and educators make sure the 4 C's are embedded in their experiences.
Fantastic. Now, interviewing LeVar Burton, which was a highlight of mine.
Sure it was. He's great.
He talked about the importance of education and business partnerships. How vital is that in your paradigm?
It's critical. In fact, it's the way that we really began. P21 began and still is a real true coalition of business, education, community leaders, policymakers. We have foundations, we have nonprofits, we have for-profits, and they all share this passion for 21st century skills and 21st century learning.
Amazing. Now, I have to share that the Globe and Mail published an article over the weekend and specifically referenced C21 Canada, which is great. Any press is great press in our opinion. And being somewhat critical of the notion of 21st century skills, that it's passé, that it's trendy, and harping on some of the provinces who are trying to change education. And education is sometimes resistant to change in its policy, and but the conversation's happening. We're happy to have that conversation as one of the co-founders of C21 Canada. Perhaps you can share your thoughts on this notion.
Sure. We've had some of those same challenges. Whenever we are under stress, and we all know that education needs to be different, people tend to revert to what they know well, which is the kind of education they envisioned and experienced when they were growing up. And so, but what we say is that really this is the education for tomorrow, that it is what business says they need for their workers. And so we have got to change, and that it's got to be a marathon and not a sprint. It's not a silver bullet, but we have got to engage students in their own learning, professionalize teachers in a way where they are active collaborators with their students, and really have us all join together and make sure that the learning is what we know that it needs to be.
I love your vision. I love where you're going, and it's not just K-12. It's K-20 and the notion of lifelong learning. It really does take a digital village to raise a child.
It does, absolutely, and certainly it's demonstrated here at the ISTE conference, which is a wonderful place where you can see the 4 C's in action all over the floor, the exhibit floor where we are, and in the sessions too.
Well, I love your passion. It's an exciting time to be in education. Thank you so much for this. That was Helen Soule, P21 President. My name is Robert Murdelacci of the MindShare Learning Report. And until next time, keep the learning curve steep.